Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today another exciting episode you've been waiting for. We're going to continue on with the 1980s Top 30 Showdown, okay? And this episode, we're going to continue with more of the analysis and the making of this comprehensive top 30 list for the 1980s, okay? So, before I begin, I want to remind everyone to go down below, click like and subscribe, because it's going to take a few more episodes to go through all the titles there, and it's going to get pretty intense as the graph has shown in the past that there's more OVAs and movies and that stuff near the end of the 80s, so it's going to get really challenging and tough to go through all the different OVAs. So definitely you want to make sure you are following those next episodes that are coming up. All right. So, and also. I've also made available the super thanks option. So if you really enjoy this particular episode or the series I'm doing, by all means you can thank me by hitting that button there and donating something towards the episode. Also, I do also have a subscription service available for the subscribers and the supporters. I have also made a special set of episodes that are designed for those subscribers. So they'll content that I can't put on YouTube here. All this specialty sort of videos and that kind of stuff. Those are all available to subscribers. Okay, so might be something that you want to check out as well. There, links are below. Okay, but in today's episode, we're going to go into more analysis and this building of this top 30 list. Okay. So again, obviously it's going to take several episodes to do. I started basically from the 1980s, and we're going to work forward. And basically, as I work forward, we're going to do comparisons of all the current episodes that are on the year, and going to go and basically see where they slot in, and if they have a place in the top 30 for the 1980s. Okay, so again. If you want to, I have the links below for the previous episodes, as well as all the episodes which I did to get all the information and all the analysis to build my entire table of all the animes that are significant from the 1980s. Again, links below. You can go and look at the entire grand database of episodes I have available for that. All right, so do check that out. Okay, so without further delay, let's get into some analysis and let's get into this top 30 showdown. Okay, so we now move on to 1994 and we start with the TV shows. And then we'll be adding this onto the list. There's already 30 titles on the list there, so we're going to move and add these shows according to what the ones on the list. This is going to be quite complicated, obviously, because there's a number of them, and then we'll do that as we go along. So we have Heavy Metal Elgime, which is a great series, done by the predecessor for Zeta Gundam. Wingman, Lupin the third series. Southern Cross, which is of course the middle part of the, what was deemed as the Robotech series, so very, very influential. Giant Gorg, okay, guy who brings you Venus Wars and that kind of stuff. Yeah, Arion. Magical Parisha. Hakuro no Ken, very, very influential. Fist of the North Star, otherwise, right? We already know the memes of the Omae wa Shinderu. So of course that's very, very, very influential. You have the story Sherlock Hound. We have Bismarck, which is of course also better known as Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs, as we got it over here. We have Lensman, the TV series, again, based off of the science fiction novel by E. Doc Smith. And we have Mighty Orbots. So lots of good titles there. So again, we'll just kind of add those at the end of the list, and we'll sort of figure out how to integrate those ones in. Okay, the OVAs. Now, we don't even have enough OVAs to meet 30 yet, so we're just going to add the titles Birth, the Creamy Mommy OVAs, which of course is kind of like a summary, and the ViFam recaps, which is again a summary episode. On the movie side, again we got a couple here. We only need 5 more to fill the titles, and then once the titles are filled, then we begin trying to eliminate them. So we have Nausicaa, which is probably one of the very first, of the, shall we say, top tier Studio Ghibli titles. Urusei Yatsura, the second movie. We have Locked the Superman. We have Sherlock Hound the movie. So again, all based off the similar off the TV series of the same name. We have the legendary Macross Do You Remember Love movie, very influential here. We have Lensman the movie, and we have Telepath 2500. So again, we'll add all those onto the list, and then we'll see how we're going to try to figure out what will stays and what goes. Okay, so let's look at the TV series now. Now I'm looking at the list of TV shows here, and I'm quickly seeing Elgime, Southern Cross, Hokuto no Ken, and Bismarck. Just standing out right out at me as coming up from the top of the pile. And because of those, we're gonna have to eliminate 4 titles off of the top series TV shows here. So titles that basically have a long history. Obviously, they've been released here in the U.S. and obviously has something like Fist in Our Star has lots of after influence socially and in our society and in our media. That's it. So let's go back and let's find 4 titles that we can quickly eliminate from the other side here. So right away I'll see Baldius, Sasaya-san, Dr. Slump, Ulysses 31. Okay, from top bottom. Those would be the 4 that would have to go immediately to accommodate those ones. And reasoning is because, well, first of all, things, all those titles, didn't have very big, North American influence. Like, for example, Sasaya-san, you talk to a Japanese person, Dr. Slump, for example, in the Asian culture, like Hong Kong and whatnot, a lot of people, if not everyone, knows who those are, what those are. Okay, that's over there. They had access to their merchandise, and and a lot of people have been able to watch that show without because they've had they understand the language that they're in, and especially in things like Hong Kong and whatnot, they've had Chinese translations of them. But when us over here, they never came out in English. In any appreciable time. Maybe now they're finally getting some exposure and that kind of stuff now. But at the time when these titles came out, and when other titles like Elgime, Southern Cross, and Bismarck, for example, both Southern Cross and Bismarck, had English releases. So obviously, a lot of people have gravitated and got into those shows. Obviously more than those ones. So obviously that's why I'm placing those ones into the list and taking those ones out. And so we'll put that in and insert those ones, and let's shorten on the list. Okay, so I'm gonna go back on the list here, and I'm gonna look at titles that I won't add. And I'm looking at it and going, okay, well, I see Wingman and Pastel Parachute. Obviously, Wingman is like it's in that era of the Sentai type show, but animated. But yeah, in that series, the odd person did have it during this time, and it was very loosely traded, but really no interest really occurred from that. Same thing with Parasha. If we had to compare with something else that's already on the list, Creamy Mommy was more popular. At least more people had that. Where Parasha, there was virtually no. I mean, Parasha was probably one of the ones of that set that were probably like least distributed. I think amongst things like Cream Mommy, Pastel Parasha, Magical Emmy, things like that. I still say Cream Mommy was probably the most popular of those things. Again, still probably pre Magical Girl era. So I would say that would not make the list. On that topic of Magical Girl shows, I see Minky Momo's on the list. I mean, not very well traded as well. I mean, could very easily be in that same category as Paracel. I see a title called Giant Gorg coming up on the list. I mean, that one was just recently released, to English. Character designs done by the guy who does basically things like Arion, and he will end up doing Venus Wars, okay, Crusher Joe. Definitely these are all movies that are really really, really good art styles that people really like. So, if I'm looking for a title to eliminate, I'm, quickly looking at Miki Momo, probably going for that. So, that would definitely be a substitution in that respect there. So I'll apply those changes. Okay, so we're almost done here. Last thing we do is there are four titles left over. We have Sherlock Holmes, Lupin the Third, Season 3, Lensman TV series, and The Mighty Orbots. Now, I'm going to not include any of these ones, and the reason why is I'm going to as follows. Sherlock Hound, Lupin the Third, and Lensman. Although, you know, a lot of people, understand the series. Like I said, Sherlock Holmes was released with Pioneer, and Lensman, and Lupin the Third, TV series was eventually released. But what most people know about those titles was from the movies. Okay, everyone sort of recognizes the movie. Okay. Some people may argue that Lupin the Third, especially in other countries, Lupin the Third was pretty popular. But when we talk about these particular types of shows, especially Lupin and Lensman, in the North American market, the movies were the highlighted things that everyone was shooting after. So, for example, Lupin the Third, okay, sure, some episodes of the Lupin TV series, especially season 3, I sort of managed to get, but really, everybody, and all the the con manuals and the convention manuals will always recommend things like Lupin, Castle Cagliostro, or the Fuma Conspiracy, Babylon, or any of those ones. Those are all the movies that everyone talks about when we talk about Lupin. So, for that reason, I think I'm going to represent Lupin in the movies column, okay, and not in the TV series column. Same thing with the Lensman. I mean, as I said, I remember I got a tape of, I think 2 tapes of Lensman from one of the CFO chapters early out when I first got them. But again, it wasn't the companies releasing the TV series there. It ended up being that Studio Pictures ends up releasing the Lensman, the movie. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to represent that one as the movie version. And likewise, I'll do the same thing with Sherlock Hound. Leaves me one more title, The Mighty Orbots. Now, I could probably try to insert Mighty Orbots somewhere in this list here. But I'm going to realize that, I'm looking ahead at the titles in 1985. And I already see, like, Zeta Gundam. I see Dan Cougar. I see Dirty Pair, the TV series, and I see SPT Laser. So I'm sitting there going, no. Like, yeah, Mighty Orbots is not going to survive that list. So, I'm not going to spend time trying to figure out where that's going to go in this list because it's just going to get eliminated, immediately. So, based on that, I'm not going to add those 3, and so that will basically complete the TV series, at least up to the end of 1994. So what I'm going to do for the movies now, there's a couple of movies that need to be moved out, Lensman and Telepass 2500. What I'm going to do is not eliminate anything, but what I'm going to do is combine a few things here. Obviously, I'm going to, there's 2 Yamato movies, so Be Forever and the first Yamato. I'm going to put those together as one. Into one entry, to represent the, Yamato, space cruiser Yamato series, Star Blazers, if you will, to put that into one entry, okay, representing both movie number 1 and number 2. I'm also going to put the Urusei Yatsura 1 and 2 movie together into one entry, representing the Urusei Yatsura movie franchise. And I'll also do the same thing with Galaxy Express 39 and put those together as well as one entry. And then that will bring us back under 30. So that will be a slight bit of a maintenance there. I will apply those changes. Okay, so that will basically do it for this particular episode. Don't forget to you join me for the next episode when I go into 1985. Now, this is going to get a lot tougher really quick because as I shown by my graph of OVAs and that kind of stuff, the OVAs and movies and that stuff really exploded at this time. So we're gonna have a real big duke out in terms of movies and OVAs very shortly. So don't forget to click like and click subscribe, and you will get more episodes when they come out. All right. So we're getting further and further on this, and again, we're gonna have to continue this on the next episode. The competition is gonna get pretty intense, and it's gonna get tougher and tougher to decide what stays and what goes. So again, I hope you will join me in the next episode. Don't forget to click like and click subscribe, and make sure that your notifications are on, because then when I release that episode, then you'll know when to watch it and continue on with this series. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.